So if you were listening to the Pete Thompson show on Saturday morning, you would have heard a froggy, PT.
Well, he had a long night, allegedly.
Very froggy, the PT was. Noticeably froggy.
Really? I didn't notice it that bad.
Oh, come on.
I really didn't. Not like, oh, my goodness, he seemed a little tired.
I was like, I texted him. I said, little froggy there, PT.
Yeah, I talked to him Friday night, and he, told me he was up at the concert, and I was like, oh, you got a quick turnaround here for the Pete Thompson show in a few hours, bud. But he powers through.
It was a 8 o'clock Saturday morning. It's the Pete Thompson show. He had been at the Bob Seger. Now, Josh says he doesn't know any Bob Seger songs, Pete Thompson. None.
Sure he does. He knows them. He just doesn't know he knows them. I mean,
yeah,
he's never seen a Chevy commercial. He's heard Like a Rock in the Chevy commercial. I mean, there's Bob Seger's the soundtrack of, the 80s and 90s and today.
Yeah. It's like a bad FM radio station.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is this?
The 80s, 90s, and today. We're playing all your favorites. Bob Seger here on the,
here on the Bob Seger channel.
Great.
So I said that you sounded a little froggy there, PT, on Saturday.
Yeah, but that had nothing to do with the fact that I was at the concert. It wasn't like I had too many Shastas or I went crazy. In fact, I didn't have a Shasta at all.
I was wondering, any elbow benders at the show?
Not a single one,
Wow.
The guy that I went with was, we had a nice dinner in Hamilton on the way up and went up. One thing that was a plus was our original seats, we would have been like in the 200 level, like section 205 or something. And so, I had met a guy up at the Wells Fargo Center that actually works for the building and said, hey, this guy that I'm going with is 7 foot tall. Okay, he's actually 7'1". And I said, I'd hate to, block somebody's view or, and as tall as he is, I am wide. So between the two of us, either somebody wasn't going to be able to see because he was taking up like twice the amount of height, or somebody wasn't going to be able to see because me with twice the amount of width. And, boy, they upgraded us real respectable like MG. They put us in Club Suite G. Oh, yeah. Giggity, giggity. Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, so the Seger show, did you enjoy it more than you thought you would?
I enjoyed it as much as I thought I would, and I didn't
know you were a big Seger guy.
Well, I went and saw him in Atlantic City in 2011, and that's one of my favorite stories because that was another situation where, I had gotten some seats on the sly, and then, we sort of stormed the one suite that Boardwalk Hall has. It doesn't really have any luxury boxes, and the old ACCVA or whatever that was at the time was trying to host people to bring in new business, and we went looking for Jeff Vassar and never found him, but we found that Don fellow that used to run a casino. You might know who I'm talking about.
I don't.
And he took a Don Marandino. He took a pass off his neck, actually off his girlfriend's neck, and put it around our neck so we could stay in this luxury area at Boardwalk Hall. That was 2011. So I think what I'm trying to say, Mike, is I wasn't sure, did I love the show in 2011 because of all the accoutrements that came with it, free drinks, free food, free ice cream, all the other stuff, or was it really that good? And then I went on this past Friday night, and it was really that good.
What's your so what was the result of the Seger song? What's your favorite Seger song?
I'm a big Hollywood Nights guy. I just like the upbeat. I like it. Look, the best thing about Seger songs is there isn't a single one you can't play as return music because they're all like instrumental for 8 or 16 bars before he ever starts singing. So, every single one of them you can use to come back. Yeah, I thought that got nice traction. There were a lot of people that, and then, the people that like to make puns too, like, oh, there's PT, he's still the same. PT, what are you getting so upset about? You need to turn the page. Throwing out all the jokes.
Yeah. Well, I was laughing when I got up. I set my alarm for the PT show Saturday morning. And
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, and I heard you were a little froggy. I had a little laugh. I texted you and said, sound a little froggy there, PT, and I thought maybe it was for other reasons, but just because it was a late night.
No, it was, and I've had a cold all week, I've been coughing a little bit and fighting a little bit, and, I've been less than 100%. But, the PT soldiers on, including, this week's show, we're really going to get into it, okay? Because I don't know if you saw that Phil Anastasia article that he wrote in the Inquirer about, the average age of football officiating crews and the officials out there, both in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. I mean, they're all in their 60s, and there's no replenishment. Like, what are they going to do? They're having a critical shortage of referees on both sides of the river, Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
Yeah, a lot of these refs don't want the parents, and a lot of it is not only the parents, but some of these coaches sometimes are going overboard.
Very much so. So I'm going to try to get Phil on. I have to set that up specifically, but I'm making some inroads on that. Plus, I think we're going to have an official on too, and I'm sure you know who that is, and George Mack, and try to get him on to give the other side too, because we got plenty of space to play with. Johnny McMullen gets a week off thanks to the bye, and we'll find out how all the playoff games. One of the things that killed me about going to that Seger show was that I was actually going to come out of hibernation and go to a high school football game on a Friday night.
I did the Spirit St. Joe game on Saturday, and Georgie Mack's crew was doing the game. Right. And I defended Georgie Mack, by the way, because some of the St. Joe people were criticizing the officials. And I said, well, this is the best crew you got out there. I mean, so if you don't like these guys, you're really, because McLean and that crew, Vince INH, they do a great job. They're the best around. So it's not an easy 100%. Gig, man.
Don't forget Paul Guillermelli that gave me the shirt that barely fits.
Yeah, Rich Hahn's on that crew, too. I'm going through I believe so. I think I heard that name out of one of my ears there. Let me ask you there, Peter. So, by the way, Pete Thompson, so Saturday, 8 to 10, 97.3 ESPN. You were talking a lot about that Eagle game. They're 5-4 at the bye. Do you feel that this team has it in them to exceed whatever your expectations are right now? Because I know with the PT, you're not saying, well, I think they can win the Super Bowl. Does this team have it in them to exceed your expectations?
I think it all depends on the next 2 weeks. They come out of that bye with, New England and Seattle, just a 1-2 right-left hook. And when they get past that, it's all gravy pretty much to me. At Miami is a vacation for Birds fans in Week 13. The Giants have been hit or miss. The Redskins are awful. The Week 16 game against Dallas will decide the division, and then Week 17 at the Giants. So it really all depends to me on can they do something out of those first 2 games to then get to the gravy games. I think it's all, it's much easier sledding Week 13 to 17 than it is 11 and 12.
What are your thoughts on Jordan Matthews possibly coming back for a third time to South Philadelphia?
Right. I mean, it's like, you got the guy's number on speed dial. Well, can we just back up to my thoughts on Desean Jackson first and foremost?
Absolutely.
It's funny because I absolutely, you and I, Ryan, both absolutely love Marcus Hayes, and he's calling the Eagles on the carpet for butchering this decision and forcing Desean to play. I don't necessarily see it that way. I don't think, I don't think any player in this day and age is going to go out there and try to play if he doesn't think he can do it. I think Desean felt the pressure of the moment. I think Desean felt like I've missed enough time, and I think he literally felt like I think I can do this, and then all of a sudden couldn't. I mean, my take on Desean is he should have had the surgery when he first had the problem, and that, Doug has sidestepped that question every single time. But I believe that was individually Deshaun's decision. Like, no, I can tough it out. And guess what? That did not work out.
That's the type of injury. I mean, I'm no doctor, but we've been talking about it for a few weeks now since it took place in Week 2. But that's the injury that he was dealing with. It's kind of like, well, you can get the surgery, but you don't have to. It's recommended you should. But if you don't, things like this could definitely happen. And guess what? Things like that happen. So it's, at the end of the day, I'm with you. Desean should have got the surgery when it first happened, but guess what? Too little, too late.
Yeah, he didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I will call the Eagles on the carpet with how secretive they seem to be about these things. And there is a troubling trend, where Carson Wentz is back. He has some soreness in his back there. And then all of a sudden it comes in to be like a broken bone in his back or, they really slow roll like what the situation is. Oh, he had a little tightness there. A little tightness, like it's, his damn abdominal muscles coming off the bone. That isn't tightness or discomfort. What the heck?
Well, Pete Thompson, we know that they play the New England Patriots coming up next, and Patriots are coming off of a loss. They're also coming off of a bye. How strange is that both the Eagles and the Patriots will face each other? Ryan caught this off the bye.
So weird.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So the two ways you don't want to catch the Patriots. One, if they're coming off a loss, because that only fires up Belichick more to be, we will win, right? And two, they're coming off not just the loss, but the bye week. I mean, to me, Bill Belichick's the best coach out there. Give him extra time to find tendencies and prepare for somebody. And now, and to answer Ryan's question about Jordan Matthews, great. That's kind of like, but we got you a DJ, that commercial that's playing right now. I don't give a bleep. He's not a DJ that can run down the field and scare the secondary. I mean, now the Eagles are even more one-dimensional, even though they've been that way. God, their receiving core is abysmal. If they can go 12 personnel and they can make the playoffs with the crap that they have at receiver, I'll be stunned.
He's the host of the Pete Thompson Show, Saturday morning, 8 a.m., 97.3 ESPN. By the way, we got a poll question, PT, we want you to chime in on. It's National Donut Day. What's your go-to donut?
Boston cream, 100%. The only thing I like about Boston is their donut.
You go Boston cream. That did not make our list. Ryan went with glazed. Mosher went with chocolate frosted. I went with the apple cinnamon. And Josh went with the jelly donut.
Yeah, I could see Josh being a jelly guy. See, the glazed guy gets too much sticky all over my hands. I'm not a glazed guy. But, I will say this in support of Josh. When I get the munchkins, I go for the jelly ones 100%. I'm all over those.
The mini, the little munchkin jellies. They're good. Also, all right, we asked this earlier, Pete Thompson. What did you think the people wanted to talk about today? Eagles, Sixers, Phillies, Flyers. Everybody had something. Flyers, D-Jack, defense, and the defense stuff. Same old Ben Simmons, free agent targets, best fits, and realistic gets for the Phillies. And the Flyers play tonight. How do you think they were ranked?
I would say D-Jack was ranked 1, right?
Eagles, 54%.
Yep. That's Eagles. Then I would guess a free agent. No, not the Phillies. Free agents versus what was the other two? Flyers are at the bottom. I know that.
Same old Ben Simmons. Sixers talk.
Same old Ben Simmons. Same old Ben Simmons would be 2.
27%.
All right. Then 3 is free agent Phillies, and 4 is the Flyers.
Flyers 11%. Phillies 8%.
Whoa!
Yeah, buddy. And we're almost at, in
Crazy.
fact, the votes are going up. We're almost at 300 votes on this. So this is not a small sample size.
Wow, that surprises me. Well, good.
So that said, the Flyers had 2 shootouts over the weekend, and they play tonight. Carter Hart wasn't, great, but he looked better than he did those other games. Elliott played pretty well, and then of course, they lost the game Elliott played.
Right. The story with the Toronto shootout, though, was that, that 11 rounds of a shootout, I mean, you're just like, hey, it's your turn. Hey, I mean, you're just going up and down the bench trying to find somebody to go out and take a chance, And people, I did not go out that night because I didn't feel well. I did not go out, but my girlfriend's son went out and said somebody was yapping to him at the bar saying, oh, Elliott's not that good. And then, save after save after save. And he's like, not that good, huh? Not that good, huh? So basically, shut up, dude. Elliott's had the better numbers, quite frankly. The guy that I'm the most concerned about, and Hunter Brody and I talked about this on the air, is Travis Sanheim. I mean, not once, not twice, but 3 times he looks like a deer or a horse being born because he's out there falling all over himself. That leads to a goal. I mean, you're in the NHL. You're supposed to be one of the elite skaters in the world. And now 3 times in the course of 4 games, you've not only fallen down. I know it's tough to skate backwards. Trust me, I've done it. But I'm not a professional athlete. He is. So something's going on there.
All right, Pete Thompson, also we know that the Sixers, they lost for the first time last night. I don't know how. Did you watch? It was a 9 o'clock game. I know the PT's got to get up early.
He didn't watch
I
it.
do, but I did watch a lot of that game. In fact, or by the time I turned it on and saw the Human Torch, isn't that one of the Fantastic Four, Josh? The Human Torch was Devin Booker lighting him up again. I mean, good Lord, they can't find a way to slow that guy down. I couldn't believe that Devin Booker went off for 40. I mean, that's just, somebody's got to have an answer for that.
No answer last
No
night.
answer. But Ben didn't take a shot outside the paint. Did you see Bane sagging off him? What do you think about all that, PT?
That's the same old Ben, and that's why that topic was talking a little bit.
Yep.
That's the troubling thing. Now, here's the thing. So, was there a certain 7-footer that was not in the game at all, right? That did not play in the game at all?
Correct. Embiid was serving his second of his 2-game suspension.
Right, for the Karl Anthony Towns Shall We Dance 1, 2, 3. I mean, does that have something to do with it too? I don't know why Ben can revert into those things. I'm not ready to panic because Ben falls into that stuff. Look, here's the thing. As the Sixers are currently constructed, Ben doesn't need to light it up. He needs to just distribute and he'll be fine. But if they want to be what they think they are, which is the best team in the East and a legitimate finals contender, then he does need to shoot. So I'm a little troubled by it, but you talk sample size, one game.
All right. By the way, college basketball starts tonight, and that is right here on 97.3 ESPN. So, Pete Thompson, I would consider you somewhat of a fart expert, right?
I was listening to you guys talk about this. And you know what, Gill? I was driving from school. I'm actually parked in another school. I'm at the Roland Rogers Elementary School getting ready to do my civic duty. So, reminder, it's election day. Get out there and vote.
Make sure.
You can't bitch about the candidates or complain if you don't go and, exercise your civic duty, right? So, yep. I'm excited. First time in New Jersey that I'm voting. But anyhow, I heard that is absolutely 100% Francesa farted. No doubt about it.
No, have you heard it, or did you only hear it on the show here?
I heard you play it on the show, but it's so funny because I heard you start to play on the show, and I closed my eyes, and then I remembered, idiot, you're driving.
Are you sure that...
I got to close my eyes and concentrate if I could see this guy, listen to this guy blast one.
PT, are you sure it wasn't one of your farts that you heard?
Oh, no. Yeah. No, I know my notes. That
well,
was not one of my
the
notes.
best is, this is the best because the guy called in to the show and basically asked him about the fart. And that's how he found out about it. A caller was like, hey, today on the New York Daily News, you were ripping gays, but they actually, said that, I think is this it right here? Let me see.
You were ripping gays, but you ripped a fart.
Let me see if this is it here. Hold on.
All right.
Jimmy in Jersey. What's up, Jimmy?
Mike?
Yes, Jimmy.
Hey, first time, long time.
What's happening?
Got a question for you. If the Giants do beat the Jets next weekend, you think the Jets...
Asking him about...
Mike Francesa, right? Didn't he have the one last week, or was it earlier this week, where he completely forgot the
asking him a question, right? And he answered a question that had nothing to do with the question that is even asked.
Yeah, he answered a question, and he was asking him about something completely different. Are you listening to your callers?
No, that's been going on for eternity. He hasn't listened to them.
Stealing money.
All right, Peter.
Michael, did you vote?
I did this morning. I actually had a doctor's appointment at 8:30 this morning, and before I went to the office and got my vote in.
Good. Ryan, you voted?
I did. My mother makes me vote, or else I probably wouldn't.
I got good news at the doctor's office today, PT.
What's that, MG?
No stones.
Well, that's fantastic news. Trust me, I've been through those.
I know. Part of that. I know. Well, you remember that day I was sitting in the hospital and what had happened, but they got all the scans and the yadas and this and that, and they wanted me to do something else, and I wasn't too thrilled about it. But after looking over the CT scans, they said that I don't need to do it.
Good.
It had to do with a camera and put it someplace that I wasn't too thrilled
about. I don't. That sounds good. Yeah, you can stop there. I'm happy that you're stone free, son. That really makes me happy.
All right, Peter. Well, vote ahead. Vote away.
I will, and I'll rest my voice for Saturday, so I have a good show for you, buddy.
All right. That's Pete Thompson, the Pete Thompson Show.